Hello and welcome to August's Corporate Podcast. I'm George. I'm joined with Monica, Louise and Amanda.
Hello.
There's only the three of you today, not too many people here, but you might wonder why there's no clients here as well.
Why is that, George?
Oh well, I'm glad you asked, Louise. Well, a lot of our radio clients today have gone to Media City on a trip, which is fantastic. I've been sent a couple of photos already. They've gone to the ice cream van.
Of course.
Perfect day.
It looks really good. They had like
What are,
wafers.
what are they doing at Media City?
Oh well, they've gone round to have a look at the whole building. So, looking at what the BBC get up to, looking at what the radio side of that, I would assume. I'm hoping that they've gone round that bit anyway, because I've been in there myself and it is wonderful. It's like this, but like huge. It's crazy.
What a great experience.
Yeah, exactly. They've been really excited about it for a few weeks now. Yeah.
So you're going to have to be asking all the questions then, George, because we've got nobody here to ask.
Well, yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? I'm going to be the quiz master as well as the host today, I suppose.
Cool.
But yeah.
And there's only three of us here today due to annual leave as well.
Oh yes. There's no Pete. There's no Stuart.
Okay.
No day?
No Dave either. Yeah. Wow. Only the three of you. Hey. But we'll make it a good one, eh?
Yeah. I could have, because Stuart is over at the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh.
Oh, is he?
And he sends his team a joke a day.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
actually.
Really?
I know. And I don't know if I can tell one of the jokes, because one of them was really... Monica's looking at me now. It's just
Well,
So, there was this person who was burgling a house, okay?
okay.
And it was in the house and it was pitch black. And he heard this voice saying, Jesus is coming. And he thought, oh my goodness. Who is that? What is that? Silence, nothing. Carried on, rummaging through the drawers. Hears it again. Jesus is coming. Got his torch out, looked around, he saw a parrot in a cage in the corner. And he said, is that you? And he said, yes. He said, what's your name? He says, Moses. He said, what kind of family calls their parrot Moses? He says, one that calls a Rottweiler Jesus. Is that appropriate? Yes. You might have to read it. Stuart's joke for the
Oh well. We need to have like a Stuart joke every time we do one of these now, I think.
I think we'll have to introduce Stuart jokes.
Absolutely.
Just get Stuart to do an hour of just stand up or something. That would.
About figures and then.
There you go. Yeah.
Joke of the podcast.
Keep it light. There you go.
Moving on.
Moving swiftly on. How are you all today? We okay?
Very well,
Yeah,
yeah.
great. Thanks, George.
Yeah.
Very well.
Good stuff. So it might be a little bit of a different podcast today because kind of got a little sort of topic maybe that we're going to talk about hopefully.
We thought we'd have a little bit more of a conversation about the values of the organisation. So I thought that could frame it, and then we can all maybe chip in.
Yeah,
Maybe,
that absolutely
maybe some of
works
the
for me.
questions
Works for
that we've
everyone, I
got.
think. Yeah.
I think we're hoping as well that it will kind of lead to, if staff want us to focus on a particular topic, then we can absolutely do that. Because
Yeah.
the whole purpose of these sessions really are about communication. What does staff want to know? Is it something that's maybe a little bit more on a personal level around how we got to where we are or what we do? What our values and kind of what our needs are around the business as well. So feel free for people to put kind of suggestions forward of what they want the content to be.
Absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. Who should we get in contact about for that?
Any one of us, anyone in the corporate team, if there's any requests that come through or any questions that come through, it might not be a request for a certain kind of topic, but it could just be questions that they may have. And we'll do our very best to answer any of those.
Amazing.
Questions,
Well,
queries, concerns, whatever.
yeah.
Just get in touch with us.
have a little question Q&A corner, whatever.
Yeah.
A new little segment. We're getting all the segments today, aren't we? We've got Stuart's jokes, all sorts. But yeah, the values of the organisation. It's a big topic. It's a big thing at Pure.
Yeah, it is. I suppose you've got to really, and maybe I'll ask you this, Monica, which was around why do organisations even have values? What's the purpose of them?
Well, I think the main purpose behind vocalizing the values as an organization, putting them down on the paper and choosing one over the other is to inform our clients, customers in the cafe, anyone who comes across Pure, what do we actually believe in and what do we value. As managers, we can use it to when we need a bit of directions, when we take decisions. I also think that our values should drive our behaviors and there should be our guidance on a daily basis. And that is the main reason why majority of organizations now have values, defined values, their own defined values.
Exactly. It's a big thing for any company, though, isn't it? You have to kind of have that, those core set of values that you can all relate to. You all kind of believe the same thing. You're never going to get anywhere with clashing ideas, clashing values. Values is the word of the day, I suppose.
I know, and also it's very much a two-pronged attack when you think about values, because I think because we are a people-led organisation and we have lots of clients that we're supporting every day, I think staff can have a perception that the values are related to how we will interact with clients on a daily basis. But it's not just that, it's how we interact with one another.
100%.
And our peers. So our core values are split really against exactly what Monica said. It drives our behaviour, it drives our words, and it drives our actions, and we are all holding those, and we are all responsible for the behaviour being aligned to the values, whether you're having a coffee with a client, whether you're sat in a meeting with your wider team, or you're having your one-to-one with your manager, or you're supporting a client. They cut right across. There's no, your values end here.
No.
And I would anticipate that most of the values that we hold up Pure, they don't just end when you walk out the door either and go home.
No.
They are core values that I think all of us can easily align to.
I think you have to be able to kind of clearly articulate what those values are as well, because you've got to be kind of bold in your statements and really clear around what your values are, because I think it's kind of your guiding principles, really, isn't it? And I also think that when we're looking at staff, I know that if I was looking for a new role, one of the first things I would look at is what kind of company do I want to work for, and what are their values, and how does it align to me. So I think if we're looking at recruitment in the future or the retention of staff, we will know that it works because we'll either attract those staff or we'll retain those staff. So it's really important.
Absolutely.
That's a change, isn't it, Monica? Just picking up on that, not really reflected on that, Amanda, but I am aware that certainly, young people these days are more inclined to actually look at what does this organisation stand for, what's its beliefs, how's it going to look after me? Is that right, Monica?
To be honest, I think it's people of all age who have a bit of a mind shift, and I think it was somehow triggered by the pandemic, that throughout the pandemic we've realized that what we do every day is really important. And many more people realize that coming to work isn't just making money to pay your bills. It's an essence of our everyday life, and they realize that they want it to mean something, and that they want to be able to identify themselves with the company values, whatever they are. You have organizations where people are very target driven and success driven, and that's okay. And those who look for this type of route for themselves, will naturally migrate that direction. Us as an organization, we want to attract people who share our values and send a clear message as to, if you join Pure, what is it that we stand for, what you will be contributing towards.
Absolutely.
So you're relatively new to the organisation, Monica, and did you do some work around were you clear over what kind of organisation you wanted to work for next, and did you do some homework into identifying if you were aligned to Pure's values?
Absolutely. I think that's something everybody does, sometimes without even knowing it.
Mm.
Sometimes I think it's not, well, let me think what my values are. I think it's something that often happens subconsciously, that we are drawn to certain areas and somehow put off by other. Sometimes we may not be able to fully define why,
Yeah.
but we just feel that that is something that we want to do. And then in other areas we feel, for example, I could never work for a car company because I'm terrible with cars. I mean, so definitely when I was looking for a next step in my career and my next employer, one of the things I was looking at, do I want to work for this business? You know, is it something I want to contribute towards? Are there values, my values?
And that information, do you think, is like a lot more easily accessible as well now, isn't it? Because you've got organisations with really good corporate and social responsibility and policies. You've got kind of different media formats where I think at one time you would have to really seek that out, whereas now it's just at such a button, isn't it? And I think making sure that, again, organisations portray themselves in the right way, and hopefully we do that really well, again, attracts the right kind of people to the business, but again, not just staff but clients as well. Definitely.
Completely agree, yeah.
And do you think, Amanda, because I know you've done a lot of recruitment over the time at Pure Innovations, and it's very familiar, this values-based recruitment now. Do you think it's made a real difference attracting people to the organisations with values that are aligned to our organisations to go through that values-based recruitment? And what does it actually mean when we talk about values-based recruitment?
I think so. There's a couple of questions there. The first one I'll say is it absolutely has. It was a massive step change, I think, a number of years ago for Pure, where it wasn't just about competence-based recruitment. It was about understanding that depending on the different levels in the business and the different roles in the business, we can actually teach a lot of the core skills that are required, but fundamentally people have to have those values. So when you're looking at values-based recruitment, it's an approach, I suppose. It's about what attracts and recruits employers on the basis of their individual values and behaviours that then align themselves to the company. So now when we do our recruitment, it should be coupled with questions around values and then also competence-based. And that allows you to make, I would say, a more holistic decision and bringing people into the business.
Yeah.
Holistic's a great word for it.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely,
it is. Because I think the essence of the values, they are at the heart of what your culture is.
Absolutely.
And every organisation has a culture. You may not be able to articulate it when you're in it, but you also know when. And I think that's why I asked you that question, Monica, because it's when you are new to an organisation that you actually see what it's a bit more obvious what the
you sense what the culture
what are
is.
the norms in this organisation. And I remember working somewhere and walking and sitting down, somebody saying to me, "Oh, you can't sit there, that's Fred's seat." I'm thinking, oh, okay then. You know, already to me there are some unwritten rules, you know, and that is starting to for me to be able to understand what the culture of the organisation is.
Absolutely.
And our employment staff do this all of the time, because when they're going in and they're identifying suitable job roles for some of our clients, what they're also picking up is what is the culture of the organisation, who are going to be my allies in this.
That's such a huge thing though, especially for like find employment for clients and things like that, is finding the right place for them, finding what aligns with them, as you say, with their values.
And unbiased values as well, because a client's values might not be the same as yours.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, when it's about finding employment, you'll have certain standards. You wouldn't want anyone to work where you wouldn't work yourself in regard to how you should be treated. But their values may slightly differ, so we have to make sure if we're taking a person-centred approach, we listen to the client and ensure it's a good match to them.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say a question of mine would be, what do you think our values are, and where do our values kind of come from as a company, as Pure?
Well, we've got 4 core values. We did used to have 6 core values, but probably about 4 years ago we went through a rebranding exercise, and we decided 6 was too many to remember. When the chief exec can't remember all 6 core values, you know,
maybe it's time to change.
Different. And values are those are those words, but those words have to mean something
Absolutely.
to you, don't they? And they have to make sense, and you have to kind of go, I understand what that means. So we have 4 core values: respectful, we treat others the way we would like to be treated ourselves; responsive, we listen to others and adapt in response to what they are saying to us; aspirational, we aim high for everyone. We aim high for all of our staff as well. Want to invest in them, we aim high with them. And the most recent one is inclusive, and that was the one that went to the vote when we were looking at our values, and we put that out to all of the members of the organisation at that time to say, we've got 6 core values. If you were choosing 4, which 4 would they be? And if there's one missing, what would it be?
Yeah.
And actually, inclusive was one that wanted to be, the majority of staff wanted to have included. The ones that were dropped, interestingly enough, were bold, trusted and honest. And talking to teams at the time, the reason they said that, they felt that was a given. Coming to work for an organisation with a purpose that Pure has, they anticipated that trusted and honest would be a given, and that we are going to be bold with everything that we do anyway. So, so they came out less favourably, obviously still important, but less favourably when they were selecting the 4 core.
Well, but like you say, they are kind of a given, I suppose, when you think of the nature of the organisation. But I think inclusive is a really, really, really important one, especially where we are with Pure. And I think we are a really inclusive organisation. As someone who's not been here ages, 5 months, just over, I think. But I do find it a very inclusive place. It's a very nice place to work, and there's people from so many backgrounds, so many different people, ages, races, gender, anything at all. And it's just, there's always treating each other with respect. It's always just a very, very calm, nice atmosphere wherever you go in the organisation. That's something I really do really like about the organisation.
And was it important to you, George? I thought you'd been here longer than that.
No, only the 5 months. Yeah, I'm new enough.
And was it important to you what kind of an organisation?
Oh, hugely. As someone who is quite socially conscious and politically conscious and things like that, I won't go into and bore you with, but stuff like the company that I would work for, it would have to be something that would align with me. I couldn't just be taking any old job and just doing anything. But with Pure, it was quite something close to me, because I have a sister who is autistic, and she's just starting college now. But obviously I've been supporting her all my life, and obviously supporting people with more vulnerable people with disabilities and sort of things like that. It's always been a big, I'm not sure what the word would be. It's always been important to me to treat people like that with respect, and always call out if anything's unjust, and just to be inclusive. And I just think it seemed like a really good opportunity at the time, and here I am. I've been doing it 5 months, and hopefully I do it a lot longer. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, well, pouring my heart out on the podcast day.
No, that's great. It's great. And also, I must just point out as well, our board are really committed to our core values as well. And when we are recruiting, new trustees, for Pure, we also ensure that our values are covered, so they can ensure that they're aligned to what the mission and the vision of what our organisation is about. So it is important. It cuts right the way through. It's that golden thread throughout this organisation.
Usually golden thread. We're coming out with the singers today, aren't we? Everyone's had some.
Don't ask me to end on a joke, will you?
Oh well, maybe we'll see for next time. Is there anything happening at Pure? Any new changes or anything that might be coming in soon?
Nothing that immediately springs to mind at the moment. It's summer, So summer's always a time when it always feels like there's going to be that little bit of a lull because so many people are kind of off throughout those 6-week period. But also, you blink and you're thinking, oh my goodness, summer has nearly gone.
Yeah.
I've still got so much to do.
I completely feel like that. Wow.
Yeah.
The weather's not even been that great as well. It's quite hot today.
It is
Seems
hot
like it's. Hopefully the sun comes out or something. You know, hopefully it'll be all right. But
Yeah. What I will say is, we had board meeting last night, so the board of trustees were just kind of reflecting on the quality of the artwork, the animation work, all of the social media newses that has been going across all of our
the newsletters
platforms
have been
and all of our-
fantastic recently.
The newsletters, they mentioned the newsletters and the quality of information
Absolutely.
that is in those newsletters.
They're fantastic. We'll give a big shout out to the newsletter team,
Absolutely.
everyone on it, Joe, Anthony,
They
Reece,
feel really
all of them.
informed.
It
do
really
feel
is great. You can
and
see.
they are flabbergasted at the diversity of the work that we're involved in. You know, all the stuff that's going on right across the business, and you kind of go, and I know I read it, and I didn't know about that. Oh, that was amazing. You know,
That's it,
and
yeah.
that comic that has just been produced as well, it's just immense. So,
Absolutely
you know,
fantastic,
we
isn't it?
spent a good few minutes talking about that, and they just really wanted to pass on. They find the information really, really informative. And one of our trustees had just been on holiday and came back, and she just said, I have never come back, opened my emails, and just had smile after smile after smile after reading all of the newsletters and watching some of the animations.
That's a really fantastic thing to
so
hear.
it was a real kind of thank you for all the team out there. And everything is watched, listened to, and read. So
Amazing. Well, a big thank you to them.
Absolutely.
Well done. Keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
Is there any final thoughts or anything?
From me, just a very brief and quick one.
Of course.
I think probably heard that England's women football team got to the
Indeed, we watched it the other day. The clients wanted it on.
World Cup, yes.
They're fantastic.
And although the government is saying that there will be no extra bank holiday should they win, should the government change their mind, it will be honoured. So on Sunday,
Let's hope so.
it's still Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, Sunday in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, because it's in Australia. Yeah,
Oh, great.
against Spain. Come on, the Lionesses. I'm sure they'll bring it home. They've been fantastic. They put the men's team to absolute shame. So,
Oh, you said it.
I will. I could talk another 20 minutes about just that, but I won't. But yeah, hopefully the Lionesses bring it home.
Yes, and should there be extra bank holiday announced, we decided that we will honour it.
Amazing.
So,
Well, let's really hope so, eh?
But not for the cafe, sorry. To pop that in, cafes are usually always
so there will be additional holiday day allowance for them as well.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't be fair for them to be missed
Of
out.
course.
But it might be, unfortunately, they may have to take it on a different day.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, that's fantastic news. So I think everyone at Pure will be watching England now, cheering them on.
All right, thank you.
But yeah,
Joe.
thanks so much, guys. It's been great. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have a good one next time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.
Bye.